Hello everyone, today I'm excited to showcase a long-awaited feature in GSX Studio, building flows with an AI assistant. For modern low-code platforms, this is essential because it turns intent into working logic faster than manual wiring while keeping full control in your hands. So let's jump straight into the demo. I'm creating a new space called Doctor Appointment, and inside this space I'll create a new flow. Now I'm opening the AI assistant and choosing to build a flow. I've prepared a short use case description for the assistant. It's intentionally concise, so I pasted the use case description into the input field. It describes a menu-driven chat for managing doctor appointments, booking, viewing, rescheduling, canceling, and exiting. Importantly, when booking or rescheduling, the user selects a date and the bot proposes available time slots from a relational database. After each action, we always return to the main menu. After processing our flow requirements, the AI assistant provided a list of communication channels where the message exchange can be implemented. It also suggests what kind of data should be stored in the database and gave a short overview of how it envisions the entire flow. For this demo, I'll specify that I want to use rich web chat, and I'm fine with all the other defaults. Once we confirm that the proposed structure looks correct, the assistant moves on to the most important part, building the actual flow. First, it defines the gateway step, which is the main entry point, often called the trigger step. Next, it generates potential search phrases for all the steps that are required to build the flow. Then the assistant searches through the step library and generates the entire flow based on the matching steps. The final stage is where it loads those steps into the user's workspace and places them on the flow tree. This is one of the most time-consuming processes. However, watching a complete tree appear inside the flow is both fascinating and satisfying. You can actually see how the flow builder moves step by step from start to finish, and at the same time the UI immediately shows the step validation process in action. Steps highlighted in red indicate that they are missing required fields. However, configuring them is not our goal at this time. Alright, let's quickly verify that the flow matches our requirements. We start with wait for chat, the trigger entry point. Right after that, I have a global handle flow error step to catch anything unexpected. Next, the main menu request response step presents 5 options, and the route selection step sends the user down the right path. So let's consider just one of the paths, for example, booking. So we ask for a preferred day, query the database for available slots, show the options, and collect basic details, first name, last name, and date of birth. Then the user selects a time, sees a confirmation message, confirms, and we create the appointment record in the database. And finally, we return to the main menu. At first glance, the implementation of the other branches looks correct, so let's not focus on them right now. Instead, let's move on to the next step, enhancing our current flow. We will ask the assistant to add user authentication at the beginning of the flow. That way, we won't need to collect the user's personal details every time they make a booking. We will also specify that we want to keep modifications to a minimum since the existing flow structure already works well. And finally, we will mention that we want to create events in Google Calendar. So during the update, if the assistant detects that new steps are needed to fulfill these requirements, it will automatically search for them in the step library. And after that, it launches the regeneration process, updating and reinserting the required steps into the flow tree. And now we can once again observe the process of a tree appearing in the flow. As you can see, the entire tree has now been reloaded into the flow, starting from the very first node. So let's minimize the chat with the assistant for now and validate the updates we requested. First, you will notice a new authenticate a user step right after the error handler. Now to the booking branch. After showing available time slot, there is a check authorization step. If the user is authorized, we skip data collection and go straight to time selection. If the user isn't authorized, we collect data, then proceed exactly the same way. Next, the Google Calendar integration. On successful booking, we create a calendar event. When a user reschedules, we update the existing event, and when they cancel, we delete. All other branches keep the structure with clean fallbacks and a common return to menu step. Overall, the flow now respects identity upfront, reduces friction for known users, and keeps schedules synced automatically with Google Calendar. Alright, now we will build the flow for the voice channel. I already have the prepared use case, so I'm sending it to the assistant for processing. The use case assumes I'm already familiar with the platform and can clearly define the needed services. While the assistant analyzes it, here's a quick overview. This is a post-service voice survey, an automated call that collects customer feedback. The system calls the customer, finds them in contacts, and asks 5 questions. The first is via DTMF, the rest as voice responses. AI analyzes each answer, detects sentiment, assigns a score, and saves everything to the customer profile. Depending on the average score, the system either schedules a follow-up, sends a Slack notification, or automatically delivers a thank you email. Alright, while I was explaining the use case, the assistant had already analyzed it and built its own version of the flow. And I have to say, I love it, so let's confirm. It correctly identified the gateway step as initiate call, since the system is the one starting the conversation. Next, it moved on to step discovery, and we can see some of the key components here: contacts, create completion, and JavaScript code, which will likely be used for calculating the final satisfaction score. The generation process is now running with all required steps loading into the flow, and here comes the long but always exciting moment, watching the tree come to life as it's added to the flow. Let's take a quick look at the flow. It starts with initiate call, followed by find contact to pull the customer's info, then creates a data object for storing results, and plays a short welcome message. Next come the 5 survey questions. The first captures a DTMF rating, while the rest are voice responses, each analyzed with AI. After the last question, a JavaScript step calculates the average score, and all results are saved back to the customer's record. Then the flow branches based on that average. If the score is below 2, it apologizes, asks for a preferred follow-up day, extracts the date using AI, and creates a Google Calendar event. If it's 3 or 4, it sends a Slack notification to the support team, and if it's perfect 5, it automatically sends a thank you email and ends the call. Everything closes out cleanly with proper hangs-ups for each path, or with almost no loose ends. perhaps just a few remaining at the start, and most conditions covered. Overall, the assistant built exactly what we described, a complete intelligent voice feedback flow that connects phone, contacts, AI, calendar, Slack, and email, all in one automation. Now it's time to wrap things up and look at the bigger picture. This demo clearly shows the power of having an AI assistant inside GSX Studio. It's not just a shortcut for experts, it's a real game changer for beginners who are still learning how flows are structured. Instead of starting from scratch, they can describe what they need in plain language and instantly get a working foundation to build on. For experienced users, it speeds up experimentation, letting them focus on fine-tuning logic rather than wiring steps. In the end, it bridges creativity and execution, turning ideas into functional automations faster than ever. So that's it from my side. Thanks everyone for watching and for spending your time exploring this demo with me.